On this episode of The Rundown, we're talking about how Facebook is going to be something other than a huge time suck.
Oh, and the Peanuts characters got fired.
Okay, so the big news this week was Facebook's announcement of the rollout of something called Facebook Workplace.
Okay, what is Workplace?
So Workplace is something like it's competing with Slack and other type of productivity, workplace productivity, data sharing kind of applications out there. And so Facebook is harnessing the power of Facebook. Everybody knows how to use Facebook, and creating a workplace environment where it's everything that you do in this workplace world is separate from your own personal Facebook, and you're able to communicate with teams and project managers and, you know, announce company news and things like that. So it's like a Facebook group on steroids for your business.
All right, can you do like actual transfer files and things like that?
Yes, yeah, you can. And also there is a instant video chat feature. I know that we use instant video chat a lot, especially when communicating with team members across, in other states. And that's the entire point of Facebook Workplace, is helping companies, and really they're targeting large companies that really depend on data flow, especially amongst coworkers who are in different places around the world.
Oh, so I can Facebook while Facebooking.
Kind of. Well, it's interesting. A lot of millennials. So the stat is like 88% of millennials still have a Facebook page, and they spend over 30 minutes of time every day on Facebook. I know I do. Yeah. I know I use Facebook a lot. And so Facebook kind of looked around and they said, "Hey, how can we capitalize on this?" And they saw, companies like Slack. And also Microsoft really capitalizing on this whole productivity project management field, and they said, how can we improve, how can we use what we already have going on in social networking and apply it to people's professional lives? And I think it makes sense.
Now, is this going to be a paid service?
Yes, it's going to be minimal. I think I saw it was like $3.99 per employee.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah. I mean, well, unless you're a huge company, then you can maybe add up. But I think most of these services are cost, right?
Yeah. And the big question that's going to really come up is, have companies, there have been a lot of companies that actually forbid Facebook from being on company computers, like employees cannot even access the social network. So as companies adopt Facebook, how are they going to manage that transition, and are they going to adapt? Because so many companies are already in things like, I mentioned Slack is the big one, and also product Facebook, but also there's a lot of services provided by companies like Oracle who create custom enterprise software. So how is Facebook going to really conquer this market? I think they might have a good shot, but it's going to be it was an interesting kind of disruptive turn of events, shall we say, in the Facebook world.
That's really cool. They just keep picking up more and more stuff.
They do.
And so it's going to be, instead of a social media hub, it's just going to be a interface hub. Like, everyone's just going to come here for everything.
Yeah, when I first heard about the story, I was hoping that it would be like they would somehow overcome LinkedIn, because I think, and we were talking about this in the office last week, that LinkedIn's kind of hard to use, and it generally is like not a fun social network. Like, I really, there's a lot of complaints about Facebook, and no one is competing against, there's a lot of complaints against LinkedIn, but no one's competing against LinkedIn. Like, there hasn't really been, and so I was hoping that this workplace thing could be like a LinkedIn competitor, but it's turning out that it's not. It's really just it's not
social, it's more just
project management and communication to external people. So we'll see where it goes.
Speaking of products from Facebook, they also just released Marketplace earlier this month, which is basically Craigslist, but in a safe zone.
A safe zone of...
Yeah. So it'll give you, in a certain radius of wherever you are, it shows whatever things are for sale. You just take either a photo off your Facebook, a photo off your phone, upload it, and anyone can find it within a certain radius of you. So, and you know who you're buying from because they have a profile that you can see. So it's a little bit safer than using Craigslist. So Craigslist, depending on how this goes, might go the way of the dinosaur. All right, well, we should go ahead and check out Marketplace on your phone. The icon's there at the bottom of the screen. What else have you got?
So, before we get off of the topic of Facebook, I have one more Facebook kind of tidbit thing.
Okay.
Facebook has been putting out a lot of news. So so Facebook has this thing called like instant articles. I think we're all familiar with instant articles, and a lot of people get their news, for better or worse, from Facebook. And so Facebook has put out this thing, has integrated 360 video into their instant articles.
Oh, that's cool.
So have you seen those in your Facebook feed yet? I know I have.
Yes, I haven't really delved much into it, but yes, I have seen it.
So it's a great way. If you don't know, 360 video inside Facebook. Facebook has done a fantastic job. I think they started it in June, where they were allowing users to integrate 360 video, and it's a great way to tell a story visually. So users go on click on this picture, and they're able to zoom in into a video or a picture and actually see like an entire world. It's 360 video, and they integrated that into instant stories. It's not like a huge story, but I think it was really cool because this will allow for more immersive storytelling for news content curators. The question is now, a lot of content curators for news stories, they like to reference posts like on Twitter and also Facebook. And so if they're referencing a 360 video like on something like Washington Post, will that be able to translate really well? Will they be able to link to a 360 video and put it into their webpage, so without it slowing down and stuff? So anyway, kind of a cool story, but what I really wanted to tap into was MetLife. Now, MetLife...
The Peanuts one.
The Peanuts people. Peanuts has been fired. Snoopy has been fired from MetLife. This is a big deal. Now, MetLife, it's a financial institution. We all know that. It's kind of boring, and that was the entire reason why they introduced Peanuts 30 years ago as the icon representatives.
Mascots,
the mascots of the brand. They have the MetLife blimp, and they had a tagline that was MetLife... hang on, I want to make sure I get this. MetLife, I can do this. Right, that was their old tagline. So they have gone through a complete transformation. Apparently, their studies have shown that people view financial services or the financial world, their biggest concern, which used to be like relatability, and that's why it was the whole Peanuts thing. Now it's turned to people are very concerned about the changing world and keeping up. Like that's their biggest fear. And so MetLife realized that, and they wanted to revamp their brand. So their entire brand, and I'm like a huge brand nerd. I love this stuff, and I think that they're doing it right because from what I read, they're not just changing a logo. And we all know, if anyone's ever listened to me for 5 minutes about brands, they all know that brands are not logos. Okay, just get that right. Brands. And the art of like brand strategy actually integrates down and translates down throughout the entire organization.
Yes.
Okay. So MetLife has looked at everything from their logo, but all the way down to customer service and also how they develop products, and where and what signals they're putting out into the marketplace and what narrative they want to tell.
Cool.
So they're really focusing on this customer experience thing, and they found that Snoopy didn't really fit with this new generation. So the new logo retains the old MetLife blue. I think we all know the MetLife blue, but also puts in like a green color too. And they combine the two in like a very nice M for MetLife.
It's a good blending.
It's a nice blending. The green represents life, so you got MetLife and next to life and growth and stuff like that. And now their new logo is MetLife. I mean, their new tagline is MetLife. We can. Hang on, I want to make sure I get this right. Navigating the world together. So
it goes from a singular thing to a togetherness.
Yes.
In their taglines.
Yeah, and that was the one. I mean, that really stood out to me. It's like in previous, like 30 years ago, they established the "I can do this" thing, and that was very individualistic, right? Like I can do this, very confident.
Very baby boomers and
Generation X and stuff like that. So as millennials are growing older, millennials are really focused on shared experiences and community, and so they're reorienting their brand to navigating the world together. So it's a very clear distinction between the old and the old way of doing things in the financial markets and the concerns that were surrounding the financial markets and what is today, like how people view the world today. Kind of an interesting fact I didn't know about this when I was looking into the story. Did you know over 1,000 companies, like 1,000 companies have Peanuts integrated into their marketing in some way?
Wow, I wish I had those royalties.
I know, right?
That's all I can think about.
1,000 companies. So
that's a lot.
That is a lot. So we'll see where MetLife takes this. I think you're really going to see a huge brand shift in 2017. That's
very cool. Well, I know we're getting finished, but one last thing. All right, so you know how Uber is doing these test driverless vehicles in Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Okay. So another thing they have done is on June 17th in Mexico City, they had, all right, so Mexico City is known for horrible traffic.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And smog, right?
Yes, lots of smog. So they had deployed drones with signs, basically taunting the drivers, being like, oh, if you were in the Uber lane or the carpool lane, using an Uber, you wouldn't be stuck in traffic right now, and you wouldn't be adding to the smog. Talk about a ballsy way to go out and do your marketing.
Right. I think so. This was obviously a one-time stunt, right?
Yes, it's a one-time stunt. It's kind of like, oh gosh, there was another stunt. Let's see if I wrote it down. They're talking about doing helicopters, and that was a one-time stunt as well. Go ahead and get an Uber helicopter to go from, they went from I think New York up to the Hamptons. Unfortunately, it wasn't this Hampton, but
yeah. Well, I
interesting marketing ploys.
I know if I'm sitting in traffic, and from the stories I've heard about Mexico City, it's really, really, really bad. And I saw that little drone come over. I don't know if I would, I would be mad, so mad. I don't know if I would accept Uber or not. But anyway, it got news coverage.
Yeah, it did. And their thing right now is to increase by 17% by next year their presence in Latin America. So I mean, they're doing a lot of neat, innovative things in regards to marketing. So we'll see what happens.
It's always fun to see how people promote these new disruptive innovations.
Yeah, they got booted out of China, so they got to go find someone else.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, that wraps it up for today's rundown. Hey, as always, if you have any suggestions for topics, any news stories that you would like for us to comment on, please go ahead, hit us up on Twitter. It's @ParariGroup.com. And as always, I'm Scott.
And I'm Christy.
And we'll see you later.